Hello. I'm the Linux Mensch. Today I'm going to jump into a terminal and do some simple commands. So I'm running Arch Linux with the awesome window manager. And I'm going to hit, I'm not going to use my keyboard. I'm going to use my mouse. So I'm going to right click anywhere and I'm going to go down to Xterm. So now I'm in the terminal and I'm going to type in ls. So that's going to list the files and the directories I have in my home drive. Now, if I type in ll, it's going to list them in a column, and it's going to list the hidden files as well. So like, for instance, at the bottom, if you see the period ZSHRC file, because there's a period there, it's hidden, unless you bring up the command the way I did. So now I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to type in clear, and that will clear the screen. So now I'm going to type in to see if there's an update to do. I'm going to type in sudo pacman syu. It's asking me for my password, and there's no updates to do. So I'm going to clear the screen. Now I'm going to type in cal 2022. And you can see highlighted here, we're in December 4th. Now I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to type in cal December. And it brings up this month. I'm going to clear the screen. Now let's say I want to cd into the folder called Mensch. I'm going to do cd men, hit my tab button, enter, and now I'm in Mensch. Now if I want to see what's in Mensch, I can do ls, but it won't show any hidden files. Now you can see the blue ones are folders and the other ones are files. And again, I can do ll. Let's clear the screen. I can do ll, and it lists it vertically and also lists the hidden files. Now let's say I want to see what's in my Zsh file. I can either open up the file with my text editor, or I can cat it. And when you cat it, you can see what's in the file without danger of changing anything. So I'm going to cat, and actually I'm going to cat a smaller file because the Zsh file is pretty long. So I'm going to cat my run configs file. Cat run. So now I can see what's in the file without any danger of deleting anything or changing anything. Now another way to clear the screen instead of typing out clear is you could hold down your control button and press L, and that clears the screen. Control L, or you could just type in the word clear. Now I want to get out of Mensch and back into my home folder, cd. Now that Mensch folder, by the way, is the folder that's downloaded from my Git repository, my GitLab repository. So let's clear the screen. So it's Control L. Now let's say I want to do some calculations. Well, I could call up my calculator. Bring that here, and I could use that. Or I could just do QALC and type in 9 times 9 equals 81. Now to get out of there, just type in quit. Now if you downloaded my ZSHRC file from my GitLab repository, you don't have to type in this to do your updates. Sudo pacman syu. You can, but if you're using my Zsh file, you could just type in update. Now I'm going to take you into my Zsh file just to show you what's inside of it. So I'm going to clear the screen, Control L, and I'm going to type in vim zsrc. So it's vim period zsrc. Hit enter, and this is my Zsh file. Now I borrowed this Zsh file from the Anarchy installer, and thanks to the Anarchy developers who made this file and it shared it as an open source file. The Anarchy installer is a great third-party installer that you can use to install Arch Linux. I've used it in the past, and you might want to take a look at their website. So anyways, I borrowed this file from them, but I highly changed it and configured it. If you go down to, I made all these aliases. So with these aliases, you can change a long command into a short command. So for instance, if you look at line 6, I made the alias update equals sudo pacman-syu. So because that's there, if you're using my configuration file, when you type in update, you can just type in update to do your updates. You don't have to type in that whole line. And that goes for any of these lines that are down here. If you're using my configuration file, I put all these lines in. See here, from here, my alias, all the way down to here. These are changes I made to this file. So if you're using my file, go in here and take a look at these aliases, learn some of these commands. It could save you a lot of time from having to type out the full commands. So I'm going to go out of here. I also want to show you my awesome configuration file. So if you're using my Zsh file, the one we just looked at, then you can type in config. And this is my awesome configuration file. This is the bottom of it. It has 751 lines. Of course, I took this from the awesome developers, but I added things to it and changed it. So if we do a search for, let's say, Firefox, in the menu, I added in all these commands so that these programs will show up in the menu when you right click it. So for instance, here's Firefox. So if you watched my install video, my Arch Linux install video, when I installed Awesome Window Manager, installing Awesome Window Manager with their configuration file, there's only a few things in the menu. And in order to get all those other things into the menu, all the other apps into the menu, you have to either configure it yourself or you can use my configuration file. And this is my configuration file. So if I type on another workspace, right click, all these things are there because I added them in. Also, if you put a slash in there and type in Firefox again, these commands I put in there. So this Firefox command is there. So if you hit the Windows super key and F, it's going to open up Firefox. If you hit, so for instance, if you click on the control button and the mod key or the Windows super key and hit P, it's going to open up PCman FM. So this is just a quick look at my awesome configuration file. And I'm going to get out of there. Now you can type in pop. And it's going to show you I'm using 246 gigabytes of RAM out of my 4 gig of RAM. You can quit out of there. Near the screen, you can also type in htop. And that's a little more colorful. I'm using 247 megs of RAM out of my 3 gigs of RAM. You can quit out of there. Near the screen, you can type in neofetch. Shows you I'm using Arch Linux. Shows it's in a virtual machine. Shows I'm using the LTS kernel. I've been up in this virtual machine for 32 minutes. The shell is Zsh. I'm using the Window Awesome Manager. And I'm using Xterm as my terminal. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. I am the Linux Mensch.